It was crazy because, yeah, you were a one-woman army, I was a one-man army.
Yeah.
And I think that whole growth was like almost side by side.
Yeah.
Like
Totally.
team and everything like that. It was crazy. And then like to come in here and like honestly see everything that you've achieved. I mean, like we've already talked about it, but it is truly, truly inspiring. Hey, how's it going? Oh. Great to see you.
To meet you in person.
Isn't it crazy? These are for you. We're here at the BYDEE headquarters, of course, with Dessy, who is the director and founder, and the designer. Creative director. Yeah, which is incredible. And it's just incredible to be here.
Yeah,
honest to God.
Thank you so much. We're so happy you're here.
Yeah. A year and 9 months as a partnership, and we have just met each other today.
Just met each other in person.
So it's crazy. But
I feel like we had met though, it was just virtual.
Yeah, it was all virtual.
We felt like we'd met.
Zoom meetings, yeah. And finally had a lovely lunch, met the team, and I mean, like, to see, I think, the growth, especially from when we first talked, when you were a one-woman army, to now, and that is just like incredible.
Yeah, it's been a journey. It's been crazy. It's been good to have you part of it.
Yeah, of course. How was that whole journey, and what were some of the, because we were doing a big Q&A literally this morning about like how I got to the 30 under 30 thing, and you know, what were the steps that I took to get here? What was the starting point for you, and how did it kind of get to this stage, do you think?
Yeah.
Big
Starting
question.
point would have been like, I guess, making everything as like a hobby.
Yeah.
Then doing the markets and seeing that people were actually interested and engaging with the product and actually wanted to buy it, which I think when you make something for the start, you're like, oh, people actually like this. So
100%.
I think getting that initial validation was fantastic. And then, I guess moving forward, it's really just been about continuing to do what I love, but also growing a team to support the journey and support the brand and make everything possible. Because I wouldn't be doing this without a team.
Yeah, 100%. Team's everything.
Yeah, everything.
We wouldn't be here without these two starting, and then kind of getting everybody else to help carry the weight.
Yes.
The markets is interesting because the amount of brands that come onto us and they go, started in the markets. Like, how did that come about? And was that was the first step for you? Yeah,
markets was the first step. I think markets is fantastic for anyone who is has a product and isn't sure how a customer or how it's going to be viewed, because it's almost like, I feel like with an online store, customers buy something but you never actually get feedback or you never actually see their responses. So I remember doing the markets, it was so interesting to see how people actually interacted with the product, like see what their eye went to first, but then sometimes they would go to something first, but then they would end up buying something else. And so, you know, it taught me things on, like, even now in marketing, like for example at the markets, I would always put, like, because intimates was quite popular at the markets, I'd always put like a really showy, amazing, intricate bralette at the front, and that would draw people in, but often that actually wouldn't really sell. It would just be the initial draw in, and then they would buy something perhaps more simpler. That made them stop. And so I guess with marketing as well, sometimes we have these amazing campaign images that it's not always the best-selling product, but the image draws people into the brand, they end up buying something else. So it was really great to see the correlation between markets and then now the online web platform. But markets was just huge for us. And then as well, getting direct feedback from customers in terms of, you know, thinking like, oh, should I put adjustable straps on this? And you would have 4 girls try it on and say, oh, I just wish it had adjustable straps. And you'd be like, okay, instant validation that adjustable straps is going to sell this product even more. And just seeing it on different women's bodies. Also seeing how, like, I guess as women, it's really interesting how, you know, when you put something on, it's all about how you feel. And so being able to see that firsthand at the market, you know, you'd see someone put something on and perhaps they would be like adjusting it. You're like, okay, you're not quite comfortable with that style, let's go for a different style. And being able to offer that service was like, it was so amazing.
You're forever learning.
In that. Forever learning. And so it was like so eye-opening, and like the brand was really like, I guess almost built by the customer, because it was like direct feedback constantly that I was taking on board and applying to new products.
What was that shift like then? Because obviously now it's purely through Shopify that you're running this incredible business at. When did that kind of shift happen? How was that transition out of the markets, and what was like that next stage for you? So transition out of the markets was really hard because I loved the markets, but I knew that I couldn't do both and give it 100%, because I did try and do the hire people and do the markets, but it just was never the same, because you know, I was the brand and I was so passionate about it, and it was really hard to find someone who would do the same at a market stall. And I think a lot of, you know, my customers and I
become friends with her over the years, so they were coming to see me and support me, and they were like supporting, you know, my journey. And now they've transitioned to being online customers, which is amazing. But the transition was really hard, and it was really just a leap of faith, because I guess from a financial perspective, at the stage I was making the same amount of money at the markets and the same amount of money online, and I had to pick. And then I just decided to take a cut and just go for the online journey, and you know, it ended up paying off. But it was really scary at the time, because you know, you have contracts at the markets. I had to give up spaces. Like I wasn't like I could just go back next week. A lot of it was I was locked into certain space every week, and if I wasn't going there, I couldn't go back. It was a process to then get back into it.
And that's cutting revenue as well. So
cut revenue. So it was, you know, a loss for a little bit until it then became a gain, and a huge gain. But it had to take that leap to make it worthwhile.
Yeah.
I think Instagram's an amazing tool where you can still connect with your customer.
Yeah.
And then the other thing as well is we're constantly looking at ways to increase customer experience.
Yeah, which is massive. And then you've put a lot of, I just know from obviously working with you that even seeing the team here, that it's been literally a department that's been created purely for that.
Yes, we have,
awesome.
Literally our customer service team, which is almost like the customer experience team, and they go so above and beyond to make sure that our customers are having the best possible online experience. And I think I've spoken about this before, and you would know, like, it goes beyond a product. It goes from like initial finding the brand on Instagram to searching through the web page to then having interaction with customers, like support, to then actually receiving the product is really actually the final step. But you have to nail everything before that.
That's such an interesting point, because we have obviously a lot of people that pay attention to my socials on YouTube, starting e-commerce, building a brand, but they fall into this trap of, I can create a cool shirt, or I can create this, but there's no meaning behind it, or there's no like message, or there's a bunch of things or factors or key things that just aren't there. I know with BYDEE, it's like your content so on point, the array and diversity within the models that you use, everything the brand stands for is, you know, so I guess just away from that mindset of it just looks good. Yeah. Like, that was big importance?
I think, you know, in the last few years I've learned that BYDEE, it's only 20% product. The rest is everything, is content, is customer experience, is like customer service, is the website, it's everything else. And I think anyone who's in the mindset that they're creating a brand, a brand and a product are two different things. Yeah. So I think that's so important that people know that, like, yes, a product supports the brand, but you have to have a brand first.
1,000%.
And people are buying the brand, they're not necessarily buying the product. Like, people buy into BYDEE, yes, they love the bikinis, but they buy into the brand, not just like a bikini. Yeah,
1,000%.
Yeah.
What stage were you at when we first got on that call? Were you still at the markets?
Still at the markets.
Yeah, okay.
And so when we got on that call, I was still at the markets. I did my last market stall in July 2019. We got on the call in May. So I was in that stage of making the decision to go online, to pursue online, and so that's why we were having that call.
Yeah, that's crazy. Because I did a little intro. I was like, all right, we're going to go over to see Dessy, finally meet her and the team, and it was crazy because, you were a one-woman army, I was a one-man army, and I think that whole growth was like almost side by side. Yeah. Like team and everything like that. It was crazy, and then like to come in here and like honestly see everything that you've achieved. I mean, like we've already talked about it, but it is truly inspiring.
Thank you. Yeah, I think we're so great. I'm so grateful, and I'm grateful for everyone that's been part of the journey, including Top Tier, including my team, because like we said earlier, it wouldn't have been possible without everyone coming in along the way.
Yeah, it's fantastic. All right. We'll leave it at that. That's our short little interview. And when are you going to apply for 30 under 30 next? Next year.
Maybe next year.
Next year. Unreal.
Thank you so much.
No worries. Thanks, guys.